Welcome, it's the RC Renegade. Today we're just talking about the mighty Honda Civic Si, how much fun I've had with it, and what an awesome car it is. This is such a pretty car. It's so much fun. The mighty Honda Civic Si. So this is a 2014 car. I got it with 80,000 miles on it, and it is so much fun to drive. It has plenty of get up and go. I featured this car on other videos on my channel, and you can see like reviews, POV driving. Just be sure to check that out, guys. But today we're just talking about this car, how much fun it is. Like, this thing is a blast. We're out here in the park in the beautiful sunlight this morning. It's a nice crisp sunlight, which definitely helps for filming. I apologize if there's a little bit of wind noise or traffic noise. You can see the sun there. It gives us good lighting, and I'm thankful for that. Now, this engine has the mighty 2.4 double overhead cam, straight 4, naturally aspirated engine, has 207 horsepower, and man, this thing has some get up and go. Now, I've kept this car pretty stock. Like, I have the stock air intake here. I haven't like put any aftermarket manifolds on or anything like that. And a lot of guys will mod these cars all the heck, and the problem is when you do that, you start having issues with the car potentially. Like, when these cars run as they're designed to, it's cool, but when you start modding them, then you start having issues. And this car is so reliable as it is. If it's not broken, I don't want to fix it. So that's kind of where I stand with this car. You can see I put the nice 10th generation logos on there, so they look nice. Sorry about the wind noise there, guys. But yeah, the little 10th gen logos look nice. I love the fact that it has a camera right there on the passenger mirror. That's very handy when you put on the turn signal, so that it gives you the view right down the side of the car there. And then I've mentioned the previous owner put on these beautiful rims. They put on these nice black rims here, and they put on bigger, these were originally, I believe, 17-inch tires, and they put on tires that were a little bit taller and a little bit wider, so that is pretty cool. You can see my brakes do look pretty worn there. I need to replace them here in the next couple months from all my fast and furious driving like a speed demon. I'm kidding, but I do have fun with this car. And I do need to do the brakes soon. Now, for some reason on these cars, these little Honda Civics, they have more rear brake bias. And rear brake bias means the rear brakes wear out faster than the front brakes do. And you might say, well, why do they do that? Because most cars, it's the other way around. Well, for some reason, it could just be a Honda thing, but that's how they designed these little Civic Si's. They made the rear brakes wear out faster. It could be like a handling issue, just to help the car handle a little bit better, but that's just something to be aware of with these mighty Civic Si's. Now, this car does have a nice window tint here. It did come with that, which is nice. And you can see on mine, the rear window tint is kind of messed up, so I need to get it into the shop to get that fixed, because you can see it is starting to come off here a little bit, but that's just how it is. So I'll get that squared away here. But man, for a 2014, you can see the paint on this car. There's a few little dings and divots, like dents, and there's a couple chips from like highway driving, but overall the paint on this car is in really good condition, especially considering that now in 2025 it's an 11-year-old car. Like, you would never know going down the road that this car is 11 years old. Like, it's in really good condition, and all credit to Honda for doing that. This is a 9th generation Civic. On the 8th gens, they had a big problem with the paint. But now, like with the 9th gens, it's a lot better. It's a little bit windy here, guys, so I'm gonna step inside here and we can film inside the mighty Honda Civic Si. So you can see the interior here. It's very beautiful. I love the red seats. It's a beautiful touch on this car. Both the heat and AC work very well. Feels good on a day like today. Let's get the heat on a little bit here. There we go. Yeah. But just as a daily driver, this car is so much fun. They're very affordable. Like, yes, these Civics do hold their value, but they're very affordable for your average person. What a beautiful view there. They're very affordable for your average person, and you get what you pay for. So yeah, you do pay a little bit more for these cars because they hold their value well, but as a daily driver, this is so much fun because it drives like a race car and has plenty of get up and go. Now, I replaced this shift boot collar, like the part that attaches this cloth to the knob, because that was broken originally when I got it. So I bought an aftermarket conversion kit, and then this leather boot was torn, so I bought the OEM leather boot. I put on the original OEM shift knob. I'm trying to get it to focus here. There we go. I'm trying to get it to focus. It has the beautiful gear range there on the knob. You can kind of see. There you go. Yeah, there you can see it has the beautiful range there, like for the gears, and the red stitching. Just OEM. Personally, I just prefer the OEM stuff because it's designed for the car, so it works better. Like in my opinion, like, you can customize things and do what you want, but for me, like, they built this car so soundly that I just enjoy it the way it is, and that's just my personal preference. Now, the other thing is, I mentioned the camera. When I turn on the right hand turn signal, the camera comes on here, so that's very helpful when you're driving and you're trying to switch lanes. The camera over there on the mirror I showed you shows right there. So if I turn it off, it goes back to regular, and then when I turn it on, the camera switches. The same as for reverse. So if I shift into the different gears, it doesn't do anything. But if I go over to reverse, so you grab it, you go over and then back, see, then you got a backup camera, and it'll even, when I turn the wheel, it'll tell you like where the car is going to go. So if I turn the wheel, see how the little orange icon shows like where I'm going to turn? So that is pretty cool. There we go. We got it in neutral right now. So right now I am idling inside, and like the engine's running, the car's just idling, and I'll just be quiet for a minute. You can listen to the car. You really can't hear much. This is such a quiet car. Take a listen. Yeah, this car is so much fun. The one downside about this car is it does take premium gas, so it is a little bit more expensive than like a regular car to drive every day. But this car is just so awesome that I'll buy premium gas for it. I mean, some guys will try to run regular gas in it, but just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And these engines were designed to run on premium gas, so that is what I plan on doing. So for me personally, that's just what I prefer, because these engines, when they design them and they say run premium gas, there's a reason that they say that. Like the different tolerances like of the components, you know, if it's designed to run on premium gas, I want to take care of my baby. I want to take care of the Mighty Civic Si. I want this car to last for many years. I'm doing the best I can to take care of it, and it's a lot of fun. Now, another cool thing, this car does have a CD player, and it does have like Bluetooth and auxiliary and all that. Let's see, do I have a CD in there at the moment? It looks like I do not. Oh yes, I do. Okay. Yeah, so get this, guys. When I bought this car, this CD was in the CD slot, and it turns out it's an Australian rock artist, and I've been listening to them, and they're actually pretty good. I was driving along, and it just started to play, and I was like, I wonder what, well, no, I lied. Yeah, they got some pretty good stuff here. I lied. I was driving along, and I was like, I wonder if there's a CD in the slot, because when I sold my car, I almost forgot I had a CD in the slot, and so, you know, I was like, well, let me take my CD out, and I did. And then I was like, I wonder if someone left one in there, and they did. And so I found like a new favorite artist. I'd recommend them. You can check them out online. They're a lot of fun. But that's one way to get a CD for free, is to buy a Mighty Honda Civic Si. So yeah, you never know. But that is pretty funny. A funny story for you guys. Now, like I was saying, these cars do take premium gas, but it's so fuel efficient. Like, this car probably gets like 30 or 35 miles to the gallon. Like, I only have to fill up like once every other week. You can see the fuel gauge is right there. The little like, you have the little bar with the full and empty, and that's about a week and a half of driving takes about that much fuel. That's about a week or so. So it's pretty fuel efficient. It really doesn't use a lot of gas, which is awesome. So, I might put like 20 bucks in a week or something like that. It just depends. But to me, it's worth it, because this is such a beautiful car. And in my mind, when I drive down the road, I have the coolest car ever, and everyone else is just not as cool as me. And that's what I believe. I honestly believe that, and my friends are jealous of my car, because they are. So it's a lot of fun. Now, I do love the carbon finish, like on the dash. You can see here, like, I got this good looking finish as well. Now, another cool thing the modern cars don't have. So the new Honda Civic SIs, all this is gone, and it's literally just a screen. So I love like the double din display here, because that is just really neat. And then as well, you have actual knobs. So like, if I'm driving and it's dark, you can just reach over and feel the knob or feel the buttons, as opposed to a screen, where like modern cars, you're trying to mess with a screen. A lot of times it's just not as convenient, especially for like air conditioning controls. You got your hazards here. Now, it is kind of funny, the one downside, you'll notice the hazard button and the push to start stop button are right next to each other, and they're both they're both red. Like this one's red and then this has red on it. So there's been a couple times where I went to start the car and I pressed the hazard button because I was half asleep, or vice versa. And you know, like just because they're right next to each other, I've done that before, and it's okay. It's just, you know, once you've done it a couple times, you're like, oh, I got to make sure I press the right button. But for the most part, everything is cool. That's just something funny that I have found, and that's not a knock on Honda. That's just, you know, me trying to drive the car when I'm half asleep or something like that. Now, another thing I do love, the racing pedals. This car has, let me open the door so you can get some light. This car, oops, sorry about that. This car has these awesome metal racing pedals. They're a little bit dirty there, but because it has been pretty muddy outside, but that is so cool. The racing pedals on this car, just the metal, the build quality on this car really is something. You can see there's the view out the mirror. Got the Mighty spoiler in the back. How cool is that? And the other thing, this car is just pretty simple. Like, you know, you got your little visors and your push lights, and if a bulb were to burn out on this, it's really not hard to replace them. And the Mighty sunroof, the sunroof is fun on this car. You got your basic sunroof controls here, and you know, like the modern cars, they just leave something to be desired, especially when you compare it to a car like this. You know, in the future, I don't know how much these cars will hold their value, but just the fact that like the door handles are pretty simple. We'll step on out here. The door handles are pretty simple on these cars, so if something breaks, you know, you can get parts for them. It's just a mechanical mechanism here. Oh, and you gotta love the red stitching on the finish on these cars as well. Really is pretty. Oh, and another thing, guys, if you go on a lot of road trips, you know you have to keep a lot of napkins handy. So I got my napkins stashed right next to my gum. So, you know, on a road trip, you got to keep napkins handy because that's part of going on a road trip, you know. So anyway, look at this, the beautiful Mighty Honda Civic Si. It even came with this Die-Hard Gold battery. The Die-Hard Golds are pretty good, so I'm gonna keep using them. If I good luck with it, good success. What a beautiful car. I also love the spoiler on the back. Like, I could just talk all day about this car. Even these taillights, they're not LED, they're just regular standard taillights, and there's something to be said about like just having that. The spoiler on this car is very beautiful. I do like it a lot. But yeah, just to have regular taillights that do not have LED, there's something kind of old school and cool about that. I think that's pretty remarkable as well. And the headlights, you can see, they're pretty standard as well. They're starting to gloss over a little bit, so I'll have to deal with that eventually. But man, this engine's running here. You can see it's just nice and quiet. It's a beautiful little engine. Now this car does also come with fog lights. Let me turn the fog lights on here, guys, so you can see as well. So on the Civic Si, you have your headlight controls here, and then it took me a minute to figure this out. So this right here, this little selector shows your fog lights. So right now they're on, right now they're off. So we'll turn them on, and I'll show you guys the fog lights. There's your regular headlights here, and then your fog lights. How cool is that? There's your regular headlights. There's your fog lights. Something else I had forgot to mention, guys, on these fog lights, with highway driving, a lot of times like a rock will come up and hit the lens there, the lens that's right inside of here, and it'll shatter the lens and break it, and then you'll fail the state inspection. And so you got to watch out for that with rocks. So that's the one downside about having fog lights, is sometimes that does happen. So if you do not want fog lights, they make little inserts that go in here that can just cover this up, and you can just like not have them. But if you have, in my case, I prefer to have them just because more lights is better. So that's just me. Now another cool thing, guys, on the Civic SIs with the hood, you have a place to put the hood here, the hood clamp, but they also have another place. So you can look up here, if you're working on the car, you can put the hood latch there, and it raises the hood up higher. So instead of the hood being here, it'll raise up like all the way up to here, so you have a little more clearance to work on the car in the engine bay without having to remove the hood. And that's what I appreciate about Honda with engineering. They did put a lot of thought into like smaller things that you wouldn't necessarily think of. Oh, there's a nice Mustang. Hey, there you go, bud. Cool, cool. They probably don't like being filmed. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, it's cool that they have a second option there. Just the little things that they think about to make life a little bit easier. You got your first hood latch there. Your second one right there, the hood mount. How cool is that? Something else really cool about the Honda Civic Si, it came with these rain guards from the factory on the windows. So you can see it blocks the sun, they're tinted. You can see the sun, there's like the regular sun, and then there's the tint. How cool is that? And it's on all four doors, all around the car. And I was told these are OEM from Honda, like from the factory. So these rain guards were an option when you bought the car to have these added. And obviously the person who bought this car chose to have them added, and I'm very thankful for it. You can see it goes on the back windows there as well, all the way around. Blocks the mighty sunshine. Protects my eyesight because that sun is bright. But yeah, just another little cool thing about the mighty Honda Civic Si. As always, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and be on the lookout for more videos.